Caleb, you're starting a store?
What were you thinking?
Yeah. Like, who let you happen?
Contrary to exactly what I've said for the last like 5 years that I would never start a store.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if I should talk about this.
You should.
I'm kind of joshing, but I saw on a recent podcast, Ricky was wearing his Quick Flip shirt. Top comment was, worst part of this podcast is Ricky wearing that shirt.
Oh,
I was devastated. I was like, I'm catching strays. I'm not even in this episode.
I will never hate on a man who is building his empire and doing nothing wrong on the way. So people can hate all they want.
Well,
we support you.
I appreciate it. My
100%.
insecurity aside, yeah, dude, it's moving along fast. This weekend, all the floors are getting grinded down. It's all level. This next week, we have like flooring people coming in, HVAC people coming in, walls going up, like to put offices where they need to go. It's crazy how fast it's progressing.
I still remember when I got the like text/call from you, and you're like, I might be opening a store. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And by the way, that was like 2 months ago.
I know.
What did I see you when you started talking about it? You were like, yeah, I'm thinking about opening a store. And then, like, literally the next week or two, Griff says, Caleb's opening a store.
Yeah. And I got a call from you, and your first line, you said, all right, I need you to talk me out of this.
That's actually great.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
And that's, I think, a really important part of the process, a huge advantage that I have now when I didn't when I started the YouTube channel or the website or the resale business in general is I now have a direct line to people like Chris, people like Retro Rick, people that are at the top of the video game store ownership game. And that's just, it's like a cheat code. It's like such an unfair advantage to be able to talk to it's like getting lessons from Michael Jordan to play basketball.
Yeah. I have a joke with a buddy of mine, a good friend, and he'll ask for a lot of advice, and like he wanted to open a store, he hasn't done it yet, but it could be like, hey, what's the price on Pokemon cards or video games and this, and then I always just tell him at the end, by the way, I'll send you an invoice. Don't worry, man.
Oh, yeah. That's like when Retro Rick was going to open up his convention. We were like, how much info are we giving him?
Yeah,
right
I was
now?
like, man, dude, we should be getting
We're
paid
making
for
this
this.
way too
shouldn't we?
easy on him,
But he didn't come out and work the whole thing with you either, right?
Oh, no.
Ooh,
He's got Michael to
Rick,
do all his work for him.
right?
And actually, on that specific topic, do you mind if I say there's a really interesting split between all the feedback that I've gotten from the public video that I have now posted announcing it,
Okay.
and the feedback that I've gotten from store owners who are successful. It's like night and day.
I'm curious.
A lot of the top comments are all people saying all of the potential downfalls, right? Retail is brutal, right? You don't understand how much overhead you're getting into. Physical media is dying. Your business is going to fail. Why not just stay online? You don't know what it's going to be like to pay rent and pay for security and pay for insurance and pay for more staff and develop more training curriculum. Blah, blah, blah. They always have their thing. It's like if you're going thrifting and estimating your profit, did you factor in the gas, right, that it took to get there?
They always say that. And every minute of time, I'm like, bro, you can't accumulate that for everything in the world. The price to go get milk isn't really $4 in because I drove there and it took me 12 minutes to drive there and I could have edited a video in that time. Shut up.
So it's a lot of deep negativity and hesitations, right? The red flags are always coming up in the comments with lots of likes, lots of engagement. But the people that I respect, who are where I want to be, are telling me, dude, you'd be a fool not to. With the track record that you have and the resources you have at your disposal, and now the team that you have, this is a layup.
Yep.
You're going to be it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be hard. Here are the things to look out for.
Yep.
But you have a high chance of success. And I just think it goes to show one piece of advice that has been rattling around in my head a lot over the last year is don't take advice from people closest to you. Take advice from people closest to your goals.
I like that.
I agree. I mean, when I was making my leap from my real estate world into the video game store, I cannot tell you how everybody around me just went, what? Like an idiot. Like, you're an idiot.
Yep.
Pretty much is what I was told. And so I had to stay true to it. Back then, I didn't know any video game store owners. I didn't know a single one to talk to.
Right.
I had no advice. I'd been in video game stores, but that was about it. And so that's nice that you have that. And I'm joking when I say send you an invoice. I think.
Yeah, I think,
mail.
I might regret it. I might regret it.
No, but honestly, happy to help. When Rick was going to open his store, he had called me for some advice, and I was happy to oblige, happy to help in those scenarios. I mean, that's what friends are for, and I get asked that a lot, not even from friends. It could be like when I was on your video where I talked about my experience with Retro Games Plus. I got a lot of people that reached out to me with like, hey, could you help me with this? Could you help me with this? I wasn't able to respond to all of them, but a few of them that were like nice messages. I want to do that. Where do I start? And I sent out like even a few of my old business plans, not like the Retro Games Plus one specifically, because I'm like, oh, you got to make your own video game store. But here's an old one for another business I'd done. But use this to like tailor it, just to help out. So
that's huge.
I enjoy doing that.
What would you? I was gonna say, what would you say is like one of your most exciting, or what? I can't even talk right now. What's your most exciting thing about opening the store?
Did you have one thing on the other topic before I dive into that?
I was just gonna say, but never like talk down how much you earned, the advice you have from people and where you're at. I see so much in comments when it comes to you of like, well, I wish I was a popular YouTuber that could launch this. I wish I was a popular YouTuber that could open Retro Rick store, and you have an unfair advantage. How? At one point, Retro Rick was you sitting there watching YouTube videos without,
all you guys, right?
Without being a YouTuber, without a store. At one point, you were a guy just working at a shop selling coins or whatever it was. Like everybody at some point, we all started naked and with nothing. You made what you made. So the fact that you have resources and a popular channel to talk about it on, you earned it.
Yeah, you made those contacts. You put in the work, right? Like, I'm really excited to see what happens with you. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, appreciate
you put in
that.
all the work to
100%.
get there.
And I hope that the series that I'm starting now will give an inside look to anybody else who's considering starting a game store of this is what it actually takes, right, to hopefully do this well. This is what it costs. This is the unexpected hurdles. So we'll see. That one is dropping soon. Or maybe by the time this is out, it's already out. I'm pretty excited for it.
And I'm excited to be editing them.
Yeah.
I actually am excited to be editing them.
It's going to be good.
And I watched your first video review walking through the space. It was kind of cool because on the call initially when we had talked, it was, I don't know, maybe a half an hour call or something like that. But you wanted some advice on the floor plan. So I was looking at the floor plan with you and we were talking about this and this. And then I got to see you in the video walking around and it all made sense, which was cool.
It's a cool video.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things that I had mentioned to you on the call, which was something that I experienced too, because we had similar experiences in that I started off as an Amazon seller.
Right.
And for years, that's what I did. And when I opened my first store, it was really with the idea that, all right, I'm going to open this. I'm going to focus 20% on this retail thing that I'm going to do. But really, I'm just going to get inventory and just sell on Amazon out the back door. And I quickly that switched from like, oh, wow, this is kind of interesting out here. I like this. I'm talking with people. There's live human beings here. And then, somebody would say, well, I drove down here. Do you have, Wind Waker? And I didn't want to be like, I did, but I just sold it on Amazon. So I started keeping more. Yeah, I'm keeping more inventory out there. And then it maybe became 50-50. And then it transitioned into more like 70% retail, 30% Amazon, to maybe even 20% Amazon. Then I got banned.
You're banned.
Then I switched to eBay, but
that's a common thing that I've heard. I now have two other friends who have sort of dual retail and Amazon businesses that are very similar to what our setup is going to be. They both are very bullish on making this move, and they both also have over time been like, actually, this retail thing is pretty sweet. I kind of love not paying fees, and I kind of love not getting scammed by faceless buyers.
Fees, the faceless buyers. I always felt like Amazon, as much as it was profitable, was so unrewarding. There's no reward. I mean, well, the money is a reward, but the interactions, I don't know what it is. My inbox and the returns and the nasty messages you would get on Amazon, which I'm sure you know, it's almost like you stole their firstborn child or something.
It's
like
rough.
that. It's like rough. Versus the human interaction of the store, to me, is very rewarding.
Very.
And that was one of the pieces of advice that I said to you. I was like, you might be surprised that maybe your focus might shift over time.
You might start liking people.
Yeah. Do you think do you think this move will be more of you being integrated into the retro game community and gamers overall?
I hope so. I have kind of mixed feelings about Do I? Not really. Because here's the thing. My initial instinct is, I don't know. I don't know if gamers like me. I don't know if collectors like me, that kind of thing. But that's not real. That's unreal people online. Everybody that I've met, like just this weekend, I've probably talked to 50 people at SoCal that were like, dude, I love what you do. This, you know, and you inspired me to collect this or flip that. And it's been absolutely lovely. So yeah, I'm unambiguously definitely excited for that. And to your question earlier, what I'm really excited for on the business side of opening a store is I see my job now that the team has kind of grown, and I'm doing a little bit less of the direct, like, cleaning games and listing game and shipping game and all of the right things that need to happen to get a game from like dirty to sold.
Okay.
I'm doing a little bit less of that, and my job largely is all-time problem solver, right? It's what are the biggest, hairiest problems that are facing us now that are most immediate, and how? Why are you giggling, dude?
You said
Who
big and
says
hairy.
biggest,
Hairiest.
hairiest problems?
That is kind of an odd statement.
That's not even that weird. Am I the only
in this
viewers? Help
room.
me out.
In this room, that is
Hairiest
crazy.
is a little odd.
Yeah, like
Yeah, biggest, hardest, veiniest problems. And
well,
figure
I gotta
out
pull the earplugs out. There's no way that he said that.
and basically figure out which ones do we need to address most immediately. Right? And so there are 3 big problems that I set as our problems for this year that I really want to solve. One is our space is too small. Anyone who has been like watching any videos of us in the basement with 10 people down there sometimes and stacks of dirty games and bins
Chinese
full of
sweatshop.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's
see
rough.
Yeah, you can.
Anyone knows we have exceeded our current space, so I'm really excited to have a little bit of breathing room and a little room to grow, and also my basement back. That will be exciting. I'm going to put a home gym down there, which will be hype.
Ooh, I'm jealous.
So that's one problem. Another problem: overdependence on Amazon. We did $2.6 million on Amazon last year, which I'm completely thrilled with. But it's scary because if they shut us down, it would be like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Like him. Yeah.
Whoopsies.
Yeah.
So having another sales channel that is robust and built out that we have more control over will help me sleep at night. And then the third one is overdependence for marketing on my YouTube channel, right?
That was a good one.
I start to fall off, which candidly in the last couple months has definitely happened, not only will the YouTube side suffer, but the business side will suffer. And I really like the idea of the built-in marketing of having a physical storefront that local people can come in, just see your sign and say, hey, I have this $1 million collection that's been in the basement that I think is only worth $10. Yay.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke, by the way. Our prices are still going to be fully transparent and online. We're not going to be lowballing folks.
Yes.
I think diversification is a big thing. It's important. I'm in the opposite boat where I'm like 90% retail and like 10% online, and I'm like, I need more online actually. And then diversification in products, I feel like is good too. Like maybe there's a dip in video games. We sell Pokemon cards.
Dude, I'm hyped for that.
We sell
Plush
comics.
we were just talking about today.
Yeah, comics
Plush,
go up and down. Vintage clothes go up and down, and you're like, you know, all these Instagram sellers are into the just only did vintage clothes. Like when it takes a
things
dip,
called faboobies or something.
Dude,
Labu-
they're from
What?
Pop-Mart.
That's
They're
a
called,
dream
like,
you had last
Labubus.
night.
the boobies.
Labubus.
Can I say
Labubis.
what my thoughts are on those things? I
Go
think
for
they're
it, bro.
so freaking stupid.
No,
Kind of
yeah.
uggo.
I stopped.
That's all I'm saying. Sorry, anybody
No,
who loves
no,
them.
no,
It's
no.
okay. You can make fun of me too.
It's
No,
like
no.
they
You go
look
first.
kind of like inbred Teletubbies.
That's a good call.
Proud
Proud of that one.
Retro Fest Teletubbies.
I walked by Swanson Emporium's booth, Derek, and he had like 6 of them just laying there, and I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Dude, they're gonna be the next hype. I promise." And I'm like, "No way."
I know right now the money's good on them. I know. I'm not saying. Well, I'm not speaking money wise. I'm not. If you can make money,
No, they're just weird
heck
looking.
yeah, make money. I just think they're so freaking lame.
I do think by you opening the store, though, that you, I mean, we've talked about your experiences with the negative comments and stuff like that. I would think you might see a shift with you'll be adding value to the community. I feel like there is a different, view, I think, of, when you're a store owner versus just strictly like I buy and resell.
Yeah, it's interesting. People have seen me sometimes as like anti local game store, like I go in and I just try to like get one over on them, or like I put a camera in their face and try to insist on deals. The reality behind the camera is very, very the opposite. Like I have stores that will hit me up and be like, hey, I'm kind of heavy on inventory, like come over, like you up, you know?
Yeah. You know? So
Booty
text
call.
you up.
Yeah, I have an awesome relationship with all the stores that I work with, but I will say, to people's credit, I've realized recently talking to a lot of store owners that some resellers are. I understand why people can have a gag reflex when it comes to resellers.
Yep.
Right? Some of them are known for being very pushy, right? Very demanding.
Ugh, that's tough.
Like
Often-
a need almost.
What's that?
Like a need for something
like entitled for discounts,
Yeah.
right? Like they'll come in and like be insulting the inventory, like, oh, this thing's got this like wear, man. Give it to me for half price. You know, like this isn't going to sell, right? You're never going to, right? Like that's exactly the vibe that a lot of store owners get from resellers. Like I was going up to a bunch of disc replays recently, and a lot of their managers are like, "Man, you're actually really nice for a reseller."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Oh, dang, we've got some corrections to make,
Right.
on the reseller side. Apparently, not everyone prioritizes long-term relationships like I do."
Did you take the earplug out? You definitely didn't say that, dude.
I was like, sorry, what did you say?
Can I suggest Phoenix Resale's Game Point as the store name?
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
I actually was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix Resale SoCal Game Point.
we give a little
Right
money.
next door to Retro.
Come up with the name. I couldn't remember if you told me if you had a name for it. You were
Yeah,
looking
right
at
now
some
it's going to
stuff.
be Quick Flips Video Games, which
That's
honestly
right.
I'm a little bit torn on. Like, I don't think it's a great game store name. I just really like the branding uniformity.
Yeah, uniform.
Right? Like, I don't really want to say, like, come to Lexington Video Games to sell us your stuff, or go to myquickflips.com. Like, I just want it to be, like, sell your games through Quick
Can
Flips.
I invoice you for that?
for the promotion? Yeah,
Nah,
you can,
just
man.
messing,
Go
bro.
for it.
No.
I'll buy you a burrito later. How about that? We can share it.
No.
Like
Breakfast
Lady
burrito.
and the Tramp style.
No.
Our mouths are just, like, wide open.
A lot of this chat, a lot
got
of the
weird.
reason why we do this podcast is literally to build our
Fancy
friends
line.
and all that stuff and build their businesses and things like that and promote them. Doesn't matter about invoicing every single thing, but
Oh no, I
know what
want
I mean?
I want you to thrive.
But you got a tally going, right?